to founders. What they're holding in their hand are actually chocolate that they made themselves on a cacao plantation and their own design and brand with AI. In day 5, in Vietnam, in central Vietnam, they will actually stand and sell their chocolate bar live on TikTok. They will pick the pods, they would have set in a factory and build the marketing campaign. They don't go home with a photo, they actually go home with a product and an opinion about themselves. And that's what we sell. My name is Christine, and this is Y Ventures. Education travel in Vietnam today is typically just observation. You look at the farm, you buy some products, and then you board the bus. Now the part that nobody says out loud is that that farm might not be there in 10 years. Vietnam's cacao, for example, peaked at 25,000 hectares in 2012. By 2023, it had collapsed 90%. Bến Tre, for example, a province in Vietnam, has went from 9,000 hectares to 273. So farmers have switched to durian, avocado, anything with a stable price. And the next generation isn't coming back. So Vietnam's agricultural labor is shrinking. The labor force is shrinking. And the average farmer age is rising. So when cities pay stable wages and farming pays whatever the commodity is that month, youth migration isn't a trend. It is the rational choice. So tour bus doesn't change that map, but a curated expedition does. So Y Ventures leverages farms as partners and not as backdrop. And that every expedition is a second income stream for local communities, one that doesn't depend on commodity price. Y Venture runs travel and learn expeditions where participants don't shadow. They actually do customer profiling, they do product development, live marketing campaign, and a final pitch where the founder will eventually evaluate for implementation. And here's what makes it repeatable. It's a two-way trade. The founder gets market research done by the participants, a campaign, and 20 people who would just carry the story home. We're not a travel agency. Travel is the vehicle, and transformation is the product. Day 1, for example, they will land in a homestay, they plant a tree, and they will identify their founder values. Day 2, they understand the supply chain end-to-end, harvesting, fermenting, processing. And then on day 3, they do customer profiling, where they interview actual buyers, creating their chocolates and packaging with AI. And on day 4, they will create the content and pitch their marketing campaign to the founders and the farmer. One cohort's campaign is the next cohort's building block. And the third group doesn't start from zero. They inherit what the first 2 cohorts did, and then they just go deeper. Vietnam closed 2025 with a record of 21.2 million international arrivals. 1 in 4 of those visitors are under 30 years old, and half of them are millennials and Gen Z. They're not traveling for leisure. They travel for experience, working abroad, study, volunteer. They stay longer, they spend more. So that's roughly 5 million young people coming to Vietnam looking for something to do, not just to see. And that's the only number I need. 25 participants per run, 2 runs every month, and that's 1.2 million annual revenue. There's no app to build, there's no venture infrastructure, and I spent 19 years in L'Oreal and Nestle building brands, and now I want to build people. So having lived across 5 countries with Nestle and L'Oreal, I spent my career making people care about KitKat. And now I just want to make people stories as the classroom. So we need 3 things right now as a startup. 1, founders who open their doors as learning partners. 2, corporates and schools for the next cohorts, educators or executives wanting transformation. And 3, the media. Come on an expedition and don't just take my word for it. We take people somewhere beautiful and give them something difficult to do when they step in as tourists and step out as founders. My name is Christine, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Christine. I think